Think a little bit today about the question, is something big or is it small? And it's almost like a philosophical question or a theme to think about. The same is for talent. I don't like it when students compare their work to somebody else's work, because there is no good or bad per se in art. There is only your product, how you perceive it, and what is the best you can do. Some people also say, well, I'm not as fast as somebody else. All of this comes into play when we think, okay, what is the fact of a certain thing? Is this big or is this small? It doesn't really matter, but I want you to think about it. And also think about your own talent, how you see your own talent in the context of other people. If you think about Picasso, for example, he was a very good draftsman and he could draw absolutely very well. His father was an art teacher, so when he was little, he already started to draw. And when you're small and you learn a difficult skill, it will carry a long way. Most of us are not that young anymore, so it becomes a little bit harder. But there's no factual measurement of either being good or bad, or good and a little bit less. It is all what you can do today. So I want you to think about this while you're drawing and do the best you can. Let's go look at the demo. So now I have 2 apples and the template. I always use the template. It's easier also for you to make your composition. Now, what is important is how is the reflection on the table and how are the shadows working out, because they do affect each other. There is even a little reflection probably from one apple to the other. I see, for example, the small apple has a light reflection on the big one. I hope you can see that. Study this for a long time before you even maybe make the whole hatching and cross hatching, the whole values. Look at it very closely and see what you see. It's super interesting. As soon as you have another object close, they affect each other. And I'm speeding up the video here a little bit because I don't want you to spend all your time watching the video. And you know now what hatching and cross hatching basically is. You know what I'm doing here. It is really that you need to see where the darkest dark on each apple is. Don't look at my video, but look at your own still life, your own placement of the things. I do have only one light source, and the reflection of the table comes into play quite strongly, actually. And you will see that too, because the lightest light on the apples will reflect. If you have a cloth underneath the apples, it won't show that strong. Again, the darkest dark is probably close to each apple. And even if you have a darker apple, it will show. I do have a softer pencil today, and I'm pressing harder to make it darker. I'm going into the direction of the apple to give it a round feeling, and again, pressing harder where I want it really dark. I'm curious to hear what you think about this exercise. If you see all the subtleties that came into play, now there is 2 different apples. This is the reflection that I see. It's not a different light source. It's not another light source. It's the reflection. Now, if you don't have a wooden table or another glossy object, you probably are not seeing this. That's why I want you to look at your still life, not mine. And if you don't have a strong light source, try to sit somewhere else, for example, close to a window, or have a light that you can direct, a small desk light, for example, lamp, and direct it onto the still life. Play with the light a little bit to make some different it's not really a different still life, but really different look on the subject because of the light. And let's go from here. I'm curious again to see what you come up with, and if you have questions about this exercise. I'll talk to you soon.